Warning, I chain smoke and I say fuck a lot, but I accept myself for the way I am. I accept you too. Viewer discretion advised. You guys remember the Finders? Well, Derrick Broze from Conscious Resistance just dug up some old news footage. It probably hasn't been seen in almost 40 years.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
This video is sponsored by you, the viewer. I've had a sponsor before, I didn't like it, so I'm not sponsored, nor am I monetized anywhere. So anything I do make comes from you. So if you like what I do and you want to support the cause, you can shoot me a tip or support to my PayPal, Venmo, Cash App below. Or you can join my Patreon or check out my merch store. I covered the Finders in 2019 after the FBI released a bunch of files about them. I actually dug into some of their social media accounts to see what they were up to. The craziest thing I found was that one of the two guys that were caught with the kids ended up being a bluegrass musician and was even playing at Bonnaroo. I'll leave a link below. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. But that's not what this video is about.
The reason I paid for these and I wanted to archive them and share them with you guys is because I think it's important that we collect this information, that we allow this stuff to exist, not hidden in archives, not elsewhere. So I'm putting it out there now. Download it, put it up on your files and your channels and everywhere else, and let's make sure that this story doesn't die. So what you're going to see is 3 news reports. One is the first day when the men were arrested. One is the day after, the second day the men were arrested. And then one is a couple days later. And so you'll kind of see how the story evolved in the days after the men's arrest. So check this out. These are 3 original reports from 1987 from mainstream news on the Finders cult.
What is known tonight is this. Authorities have the children and the 2 men accused of abusing those children, and evidence that they may be only part of a larger, dreadful story. CBS News correspondent Rita Braver reports.
Law enforcement authorities suspect they may have stumbled on an international child abuse ring when an anonymous call led police in Tallahassee, Florida, to this park. 2 well-dressed men were discovered with 6 filthy, ragged, insect-bitten children, aged 2 to 6.5. A passerby with a home video camera took these pictures as the men were arrested and booked for child abuse. The children were confused, said they'd been traveling for a long time in a van, stopping at camps. Today, police released these photographs, hoping to learn more about the 6 youngsters who said they didn't know where they came from or where they were going.
But at least one of the 6 were sexually abused.
The 2 men reportedly told police the children were being weaned from their mothers and taken to Mexico for a special school for brilliant children. Papers the men were carrying led to Washington, D.C., where police last night searched a residence used by a commune or cult known as the Finders.
The women are always pregnant, and they have a child, and then they seem like they get pregnant again.
And there was another search at this Finders warehouse where law enforcement authorities said they found a photographic studio, a computer bank, and at least 3 large bags full of slides showing, according to one source, satanic, ritualistic activities involving torture, bloodletting, and sexually explicit acts involving children. Virginia police are now investigating a farm where the group reputedly brought children.
Well, it looked like to me that was awful, didn't weigh very much.
You don't think they were well cared for then?
I think they were malnutrition.
No members of the Finders were apprehended, but police say they do have some leads. The FBI and U.S. Customs Service have now joined the investigation, and officials say they're still trying to figure out exactly what is going on and how these and perhaps other children may be involved. Rita Braver, CBS News, Washington.
6 children in the custody of Tallahassee police in an alleged child abuse case have been moved and put under guard after police received a number of threats against the children's safety. 2 men have been arrested and charged after Tallahassee police uncovered a widespread cult that appears to involve devil worship. The story now from Lark McCarthy.
These 6 children are at the heart of a bizarre tale of alleged abuse and possible devil worship. The arrests of 2 men in Tallahassee have touched off investigations from Florida to Washington, D.C. Douglas Ammerman and Michael Houlihan are charged with child abuse. Police say the children found with them were hungry, dirty, covered with insect bites, and there's evidence one child was sexually abused. Tallahassee police said today there have been threatening phone calls.
Evidently, someone found out where these children were staying, called and said that there was going to be physical harm brought to the children.
The men in custody told police the children were being weaned from their mothers. The group apparently traveled by van from Washington, D.C.
The organization is probably some type of satanic cult, according to the Washington, D.C. officials, and a prerequisite of joining this group is to give up the rights to your children.
Evidence led to 2 locations in Washington operated by a commune, possibly a cult, called the Finders. D.C. police seized computer and video equipment, as well as photographs from a warehouse. According to a police source, the pictures show rituals involving children, animals, and bloodletting. A neighbor of this Finder's home recognized several of the 6 children and said the girl who calls herself Mary talked about the Finder's lifestyle.
She used to say that she slept out back on the porch, and the little kids slept in a tent.
In Madison County, Virginia, state police raided several locations linked to the Finders and found nothing. Authorities are looking for 2 other vans, possibly carrying more children. And they're looking for answers to what the Finders believe and whether those beliefs are criminal. Lark McCarthy, ABC News, Washington.
A week after the arrest of 2 men in Florida found with 6 bedraggled-looking children, the FBI said today some of the parents had been interviewed. All involved appear to be part of a mysterious, non-traditional lifestyle group called the Finders. Police have rolled back on Satanism and sex charges, but the case still is raising some serious questions. Rita Braver has been investigating.
In Tallahassee, Florida tonight, 6 children still wait. No one has come forward to claim them, and their story grows more confused and bizarre. The 2 men arrested last week and charged with child abuse when police responded to an anonymous call complaining of the youngsters' filthy and neglected appearance, today pleaded not guilty, but explained nothing. Law enforcement officials now believe the men and children were on some sort of expedition and that all are part of a Washington-based alternate lifestyle community called the Finders. The group is known for its secrecy and unconventional lifestyle. Police have now backed off charges that one of the children was sexually abused and that pictures seized from Finders headquarters in Washington were pornographic. Still, there is concern that the children are being raised in a harmful atmosphere. Case in point, photographs showing the children participating in the slaughter of 2 goats. A Finder spokesman who refused to appear on camera defended the episode.
They watched them get dissected. They were allowed to touch whatever they wanted to touch. And it seems to me that that would be a marvelous learning experience to discover the womb of a goat and see a couple of little fetuses inside.
The Finders claim that regaining custody of the children is being worked on, but won't explain how. This woman says she's one of the mothers, but won't give her name. She says the group is just being targeted because it's different.
Granted, we have an alternative lifestyle. We're different from Mr. and Mrs. America next door, but we love our children.
Florida authorities say that when and if the Finders do try to claim the children, they could be considered unfit parents and denied custody. It's the kind of question that's difficult for society.
As long as parents are providing their children with both the education and with the physical and emotional sustenance to function adequately as adults, what kinds of role models they provide or what kinds of settings that is done in is not of concern to the state.
The dispute is likely to end up in court. Meanwhile, the children wait. Rita Braver, CBS News, Washington.
So thank you to Derrick for digging that up. If you didn't know, he actually interviewed one of the members of the Finders. If you want to check that out, his links are below. Fucking stoned.